So Lima's still holding its own as far as the cold weather is concerned around the world. So I was an on-air meteorologist for 10 years in a station in Lima. Most of the time I was working as a meteorologist, but I also worked as a journalist, as an editor, as an anchor. I did all the jobs in the newsroom. My role with the flood really was just working at the television station and covering it firsthand and being like totally immersed in the flooding issues of this area, something that I really wasn't privy to. I really had no idea about, even though I was a meteorologist, until I saw it firsthand, and then I learned quick. So flooding's really hard to forecast, but it's even harder to communicate. And whether you're using social media or you're using traditional television, as a journalist communicating these things, it's hard to get people to take any kind of action, especially on a flood, because a flood isn't tangible. Like a flood isn't easily seen like a thunderstorm. It isn't easily seen like a tornado or a hurricane, even though we don't have to worry about hurricanes here. So it's harder to communicate the dangers of a flood, even though that is the number one danger really here and everywhere else for that matter, because flooding kills more people than any other weather phenomenon. I quickly learned, as I mentioned, that it doesn't take much rain to flood here in Findlay. And I almost had to become, not an alarmist, but I always had to remind people, even if there was a couple inches of rain, hey, there could be some flooding today. I just mention the word flooding and constantly mention that word. Basic communication on television, just to get it in people's heads. Expect the potential for winds of over 60 miles per hour with these storms. They're moving very quickly. They're going to be in and out of here within about the next hour. For me, when I covered the 2007 floods, it was important because I was new to the area and I didn't know my way around. And my news director basically said, okay, drive to Findlay from Lima, which is about a 30-minute drive, and go look for flooding. Okay, well, it wasn't that hard to find it, because when I got here, every other street was closed down. So I had no idea where I was going, but I quickly found, and what I will always remember, is people like just out of the woodwork everywhere, just helping other people. And for people who are around here, even like Arlington, I'm sure, that's a pretty common theme. Like, it was amazing to see how much people were willing to help other people. That was just something that always stuck with me, is how willing to help other people the community here was in Findlay. And that was just something that was pretty incredible to see from my perspective.